Hello and welcome back everyone to another YouTube video. In today's video I will explain and solve problem set 7 working 9 to 5. So in this problem we want to implement a program that converts the time between the formats, the 12-hour format and the 24-hour format. And I have some examples here. So if the time is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. it will be converted to the 24 format like this one here. And the time formats that we will support are these three. So this one here, and it can be like that and like that. So let's start with the regular expression. I will explain it right now, don't worry. So the first thing we are searching for in our string here is a number, or it can be two numbers actually if it's 11 or 12. So that's why here uh, we are using the \d, and we are using the bracket uh, the bracket the curly brackets to specify that it can uh, be one or two, so it can be repeated one time or two times. And we are grouping uh, this time here because we'll use it after. So this group will contain the first hour or the first number. And the second thing we are searching for is the colon, but as you can see here it's not uh, there, so it doesn't really need to be there. So that's why we will add the question mark after it, because in some formats we will find it like here and here, but in this format we will not find it. So yeah, that's why we added the question mark. And the second group is the minutes, so it's the minutes of the first hour. And as you can see in this format there is no minutes here or there, so that's why after this group we added a question mark to specify that this group doesn't have to be in our string. And the code here, or the expression, is pretty simple. It's a decimal, not a decimal, it's a number, and this time it has to be two digits. So like this here, 00 or 05 and so on. So that's why here we specified that it can be repeated two times. And after the first hour and minute, like this is equivalent to this here, we will find a space. And after the space, actually the space is here. So we'll find a space here, and after the space, we will find AM or PM. So the space is here, and the AM and PM is here, and we will group it because we'll also need to use it afterwards. But there is something wrong here. We actually need to remove this question mark because it has to be there. So AM or PM, one of them has to be in our string. So after we finished the first time, or this equivalent to this, we will find a space, then the word two, then a space. So that's what we have here. And after this we will find the same thing we found first. So this will actually be a copy from this. So we don't need to make any modifications. So this should work correct, because the time here is exactly like the time here. And at the end we will add the dollar sign, because we ended the first we added the um, character because we need to specify or tell that we are going to compare the whole string. And at the end we will um, make the regular expression in case insensitive. So we will add re.ignore case. So yeah, that's the regular expression for this problem. I hope it's clear. So let's move on. So let's make an if condition, if time. So if the format, if we found the string in the right format, we will do some things. But first, I think uh, let's handle the value errors first. So we will raise a value error if the minutes are more than or equal to 60 and if the format is wrong. So if the format is wrong, uh, the time will not return true or will not make the if statement evaluate. So let's make the else and let's raise a value error. So yeah, here we handled if the format is wrong. So if it's like this will if that's the case, we will return a value error, and the else will catch it because the time will not make this if statement evaluate. So let's also handle the rest of the value errors. So if the minutes are more than or equal to 60, but we need to check if there are actually minutes, because here, as you can see, we specified that this pattern doesn't have to be there. So let's check if it's there and then check if the minutes are more than or equal to 60. So if time. So if we found the minutes of the first uh, time, we need to make an if statement and check if the minutes are more than or equal to 60. And if that's the case, we will raise value error. And let's do the same for, okay, but before we copy this, we actually need to make this integer because it will return a string. This will return a string, so let's force it to be an integer and let's do the same for the second hour or the second time, but this time it will be group 5 and yeah, it will raise a value error. So value errors are now handled, so let's move on. Okay, let's actually add some comments because the code will get messy. So and here let's actually call it time1 to be more specific, and here we will assign the time1 to some variables and to use it to we actually will modify the hour and the minutes to the format that we will output the time with. So let's first assign the hour to a variable. So let's call a variable hour1 and it's going to be equal to the integer of time dot group 1. So as you can see, our first group will be the hour. And let's also, okay, what we want to do here is to uh, add 12 to our hour if it's AM. Actually PM, sorry. If this is PM, we will add 12 to the hour. So let's make an if statement and if group, it's the third group, and if it's equal to PM, let's add 12 to the hour. And okay, let's make another condition, and if the time group 3 is AM, okay, let's actually make it uppercase, and let's make this elif. So let me explain what I'm trying to do here, or why I'm adding another condition. So if the user or the string, the time we have is 12 any minute AM. When we convert it, we need to make it uh, 0 0. So we will actually subtract 12 from our hour, or make it so. Okay, let me just add the second condition, which is if, okay, let's make, okay, if the hour 1 is equal to 12, we need to make the hour 1 0, or we can subtract 12, so whatever you like. And yeah, if okay, let's start again from here. So if the first time is PM, we will add 12 to our hour, because we need to convert from 12-hour format to 24. So as you can see here, the 5 PM will be 17, so we added 12 here, and if it's AM, nothing will change. And the second if statement here, I added it because if the hour is 12, so if it's 12 AM, if it's 12 AM in the 24 format, it need to be 0 0. So that's the two conditions we have here. And let's move to the next. Okay, actually here we will make our format, so it is ready to be printed out. So let's make an if statement, because we have two cases. We can have minutes, or we don't have. It's not necessarily. So if time dot group L2 is none, if there is no minutes, uh, let's make a new variable called time1, and it's going to be equal to hour 1 and colon and 0 0, because in our string, or the format that the user provided, has no minutes. So we actually need to make this leading zeros, so we will make the format, I think 0 2, but let me check. So yeah, that's the right format. And otherwise, if we have minutes in our format, time1 will be equal to hour 1 leading zeros, and this time we will add the minutes, which is our third group, or it's actually the second group. First group is the hour, and second group is the minutes. So yeah, okay, let's actually copy this, because this will be the same for the time 2, or the second time we have. Okay, we will just edit some groups. So this group will be 4, because as you can see, the second time starts 1 2 3 with the fourth group. So that will be 4, and this will be 6, I think. Yeah, 6. This also, this will be 5, and this will also be 5. Okay, and we need to make this our 2, and this should be time 2, and here also, and the variable here. So I think we changed it. Okay, not this. Yeah, and this also. I think now this block will work for the second time. Okay, so now let's return the time. So return in 24-hour format. And as you can see here, it will be the first time, space, 2, space, and the second time. Or in our case, time 1, time 2. So here let's make a variable called time, and it's going to be equal to time 1 space 2 space time 2, and let's return the time. So let's actually give it a try and see if it's working. So let's run Python and let's try this example here. So yeah, this returns the time in 24 format. So that's great. Let's see if this format will work. Okay, it's also working, and it outputs the right time. And let's see if we have minutes. Let's see. Okay, 0030. This should be 00. I forgot to modify this. And 8 to 50. So yeah. Okay, so let's actually use check 50 now and see if the first part of the problem is working. I know we still need to make the test, but let's see if this will work. So I will use check 50 and come back. So as you can see here, we failed the 2 tests, and if you look, 12 a.m. should be 00, and that's correct. But if it's 12 p.m., we will actually not add 12 to it. So that's the 2 failed tests. So here we'll just add another uh, condition, which is if the group, or let's type if our 1 is not equal to 12. And we'll do the same here, and our 2 not equal to 12. So let's use check 50 again. And now, as you can see, we passed every test regarding this file. So ignore from this line, because that's for the test, and we haven't made this file yet. So now we are ready to move on to the test. So as you can see here, the 2 tests that we filled are now passed because we made this condition here. So let's now move to the test file. So this is our file here for the test. We imported the convert function, and we initiated 3 functions. We will test our function convert here. And let's start with the first test. Let's assert and call the function convert. And let's actually take our first example here. This should return. Okay, let me this format here. So This is our first test. So let's copy this code and print it 2 times and take this. This is another format, so it's good to check for all formats, but it will also return uh, the same as the first one. And the third, let's make it this one here, and it should return the time in this format. Okay, I think this is enough for the first test. So the first test pretty much covers all formats. So if there is no minutes, or if there is minutes, and they are all correct, so we are not checking for value errors here. So let's move on to the second test. Okay, let's actually copy 2 lines from here, because here we will test the 12 a.m. and the 12 p.m. and we will leave the third test for the value errors. So this should return uh, 0 0, and here 12. And I think there was another uh, format for this one when we use the check 50. I think there was no minutes, I'm not sure, but it will return the same. Not actually the same. So yeah, if we make this 12 and convert this to PM, it should return this format also. Okay, yeah, I think that's right. So let's move to the third test, which will handle the value errors. And to handle value errors, or to expect that the return value is value error, we'll actually make something different. So let's first import PyTest, and I will show you this in a second how to make this assertion. So you will need to use with and the library PyTest and call the function raises, and the error that will be raised is value error, and it will be raised from converting something. So let's just copy this 2 times more. Oh, sorry. Let's first check if the minutes are more than or equal to 60. So let's yeah, 70 minutes uh, AM to 12:70 PM. And the second one we can check for wrong format. So yeah, if there is no space between the number and AM, this should also return value error. And hmm, yeah, if the user provided the time in the 24-hour format, so let's copy one from here. So if he provided this time format, we will also raise a value error. I think we will need 2 more because we have a lot of wrong formats. So let's yeah, another wrong format is instead of typing 2, uh, adding a hyphen like this. So this should also return value error. And our last test can be something like this. So this should also return a value error. So yeah, I think we covered a lot of things here. So let's use PyTest and see if these tests are um, correct or passed. So PyTest. So yeah, as you can see, the three functions passed. Okay, and finally, let's use check 50 and hopefully uh, everything is working fine. So now, as you can see, we passed every test finally after I think 30 minutes. So yeah, this one was pretty long. So yeah, that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and see you next time.